Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. It's Tuesday, it's October 27th. This will be our chart listing for the day. And we just had another range day today. Um, we spent most of the day with it between 25.54 and 25.61. But we had a nice trend in each direction. Had a couple of pretty good moves, actually. The moves to the downside were pretty good. There actually were a couple early on that were pretty good to the upside, but a couple of these trading down were really nice moves. So you could have caught a runner on either one of these. Had a really nice trade. Um, let's go ahead and back out and talk about the trades. And early on, it was really tricky when coming in on the right at 7 o'clock. It really was just a trading range kind of deal here. Um, But what I was looking at, notice this first leg down right here, and then we had a two-legged correction, and then we were trying to go lower. Um, Everything's below the EMA, but notice when it broke lower here, notice that we've got a leg down, and then you got a two-legged correction, and then it actually broke lower the first time here, but that was right around 6 o'clock. I wasn't even here yet, so it just kind of continued to go sideways. But you got a higher low and it broke lower here. This is a fairly um, aggressive trade because we are going sideways. But the key here was that first leg down. And once we started going lower, you figure we're going to make a second measured leg. And you can see we actually went a little bit further there. So when it didn't go higher here and broke lower, and with everything going down, you want to look for a possible measured leg down there. And so if you want to be aggressive, you can kind of go short. You can go short there. It was a pretty quick and easy move, but the better entry was to wait and notice that you got a little double bottom here and you get a breakout pullback short right here. But you also get a nice bearish bar and all right there as well. And that's right off that possible trend line coming off those first few bars, and it fits on this side really well. So just go short right there. And you're looking for a measured move, and so that means you're probably going to get down. There's plenty of room to get out before getting down there. It's pretty close right there. But again, if you're looking for the measured move, and it is a breakout pullback short there. So I like, and you could have considered using a limit order, and you could have got filled, I think, a tick back into that bar at least. And so that would have given you a little better entry. But I like that one for just because it's right off that trend line. And it is a breakout pullback short. It's, I mean, this is a double top, so you can kind of count this as similar to a failed second entry long. There's going to be people trying to pick a bottom right there, and they probably trap some people. You did have to be kind of patient today, though, because oftentimes it was a long time between trades. And right here, we made this low right before 8 o'clock, and we didn't really get another trade until 8:45. So you had just kind of, and you can see that we're just going sideways. Market's not trending any longer. You can't really enter in there. There's a failed second entry short right here. Notice this new low, pullback first entry, pullback second entry. So, if you really want to be aggressive, you could consider entering there, but it's just so much overlap and congestion, and there's not much room to the EMA. I think you're better off to wait. And notice what it does. It pushes through, it pulls back, and it tests the trend line, it tests the EMA, and then it goes higher. So I like entering long there. It's a breakout pull. It's really similar to this setup over here. It's kind of like a repeat pattern going in the opposite direction. But I like this one. It's not a great bullish bar, but it's similar to this is like two legs up for one leg and then a correction. And then there's another leg up here. So it's on a larger chart, it's a failed second entry long. Notice that those two legs there. That's one move, and then there's your next leg up. And then it pulls back and fails and goes higher. And And at this point, it's really looking like a range, and so your target's going to be back up here near the highs. And that turns out to be a pretty good move there. And then you get a break here, first entry, pull back. There's actually a second entry long right there. And that one's really tempting to enter long. But that resistance is right across there. And at that point, I'd actually moved mine down to right there. I ended up moving it back up when we went higher later that day. But we're coming right off of it. So you don't have much room to get back to that high. And that's pretty strong resistance right there. Been proven multiple bars across there. So you got to be real careful about going low, going long right into that. And so you really have to skip. Plus, if you draw your trend line there, you can see it working down right off those first few bars, and that closes right under it. That's another clue. It fits on the bottom. So just sit tight and see what happens. You might miss a trade, but you're better to miss a trade than to get trapped right here. And if you did get trapped, you better exit here. And I like, and maybe even reverse, but I like entering right there. And that turns out to be a really great trade. And it goes straight down to the bottom. You do get a close outside here and a move to a new low. You don't quite get a new low here, but you get an attempt, but you can't get a new low because you got some strong support right across here. The market's been bouncing in here quite a bit. You don't get a very bullish bar. You haven't come back to the EMA for a while, so you figure it's going to snap back. This is a little bit aggressive, but it is a higher low. If it would have been a smaller bar and more bullish here, I would have liked it better. But what you could have done is let it break above here and then drop a limit order, and it would have pulled back and filled you and then taken off. But you could use a stop there. Even if you're wanting to be real aggressive, you could even use a stop there. And this turns out to be a great trade. But look how it shoots right through the EMA, pulls back. You do get a break of this channel here, but you figure you're going to test this high, and this thing just takes off. Again, you don't know that it's going to do that. But that's one of the reasons why we hold runners. Generally, a lot of times on days like this, I'll just scalp out and won't hold a lot of runners, especially unless I'm entering at the very extremes. So, because most of the time it's going to run up here and touch and turn down, kind of like it did here. And you're looking for a measured leg again. There's your first leg. Actually, there's your first leg. And then there's your pullback, and you measure from there, and you can see you pretty much get a measured move right there. And again, that turns out to be a pretty good trade. It's really tempting to go short right here, but this is a good example of why you don't. It breaks lower, turns, and goes out the other side, stops you out, and then goes right where you think it would. That's why I always like to wait on a lower high, and you get that right here, but now you got all that overlap stacking up there. You got to be really careful about going short out of that. Wait on a trap. And notice what happens here. You get a new low. You get actually, you got the new high here. You pull back first entry, pull back second entry. It fails and then turns down. But mostly, it turns down right off that. I actually had that drawn off those first couple of bars here. Like so. And it tries to go higher a couple of times and then turns down. This is not a great signal bar. Again, this is the one I would have waited on your signal bar. When it broke below that, I would have dropped a limit order in, or you really could have considered a stop. But that's a pretty big bar. I'd like to get a little better entry on that one. But the main thing is it's a double. Notice we backed up there. That's the original resistance across there. We failed breaking higher. We pulled back. We tested it here, then we tested it, and you tested it here. So you really got kind of a double top, and then you tested it once, twice. And when it tested it again there and turned down, you figure if, anytime the market can't go higher multiple times, it's going to eventually go the other direction in most cases. And you already had one leg down, so now you're looking for another leg down. So this is kind of like your double, this is basically your double test rule. And you can see there's your measured move down. We went a little further again. But this is like a double test rule of this double top here. And generally, once you test something a couple times and it fails, it's going the other direction. And that was a nice move. And you can see they trapped a lot of people long there. And then you kind of go sideways again. You're getting this support. And again, it's tempting to enter down here, but you got to wait on a second entry, counting off the lows, and you don't get that till here. And look at that bar. It's not very bullish. It's right into the EMA. It's almost back to the trend line. So I don't think you want to go long right there. You could kind of treat that as a double test rule and try to get in with a limit order. If you did it that way and we're wanting to be aggressive, I'm okay with that, and I'll mark it green for that reason. But that would be the only way I would consider that. And I still think you're better off to skip it because and take the short here, because now you got a perfect second entry short right at the trend line. Pull back first entry, pull back second entry. Notice the new low there. That's two measured legs up. It's right off the trend line. It's a failed break above these matching highs. There's multiple reasons to like this trade. Right across there, and that's a failed break higher. And you got plenty of room to test this new low, and again, it drops like a rocket through there. So you just never know when you're going to get a better move. This trend line should be a little bit further here. And then we come back again here. There's a second entry short right here, but I don't like entering that. Notice the new low, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. Because we've had a break and a new low, sometimes you'll get another leg down, a measured leg, but you got to be real careful about that. So I don't like taking that second entry, but when it tried to go higher and it broke higher again there and turned back down, I like going short right there, because now you've trapped people that are trying to get long down here around this support. So I like that one, and that's a quick, easy move, and then it bounces again. And now you're making higher highs and higher lows, so you no more shorts after that. And when it comes back to this line right here, and there's two legs in there. There's a move down, pull back, move down. So on a smaller chart, you'd find a second entry long right there. But I like that big bullish reversal bar. It opened here and traded all the way down, and then traded all the way back up and closed on its very high. Go long right there, because you're probably going to head to the upper side of that possible channel. Then it pulls back, and notice that comes back first entry, and then it pulls back again. That's a double test of this area right in here. That's a second entry long. And where is it probably headed? To the upper side again. And that gets you right into the 2 o'clock hour. That's like right at the 2 o'clock hour. So not a lot of trades today, but the ones that were there, if you were patient, were pretty good trades. The thing you got to remember is just stay out of this stuff right here and right here, and wait on the traps. And that's another thing here. We're going sideways, and this breaks lower and fails and tries to go higher twice. So this is like a failed breakout pullback short as well. And if you just wait and be patient, the better trades will set up. But what normally happens is people get impatient in here, and they try to go short a couple of times because we've been moving down, and they don't realize that we need to move back to the EMA, and they try to get short in here, and then it snaps back on them. And same thing here. They're trying to get long way up in here, and then it comes back, and then they're trying to get another bounce. They don't realize that the move is over. They don't realize there's strong resistance. You got to learn to see all this stuff. So anyway, not a lot of trades today, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's when you got to be real patient. And there's 9, and then there's 1, 2, 3 more aggressive ones. So maybe 12 trades today, 9 to 12 trades. I mean, that's plenty. That's all you need. But it's not like we were getting when we had the volatility a few weeks back, where we were getting 9 or 10 trades in an hour or two. We're not getting that now. It's slowed down. This is a more normal market. So um, things are kind of back to what I would say is more predictable and more normal with a lot less volatility. So, but anyway, there's not much else to talk about today. It's just another, like I said, another range day, and um, just draw these shorter term trend lines. Actually, I will say this: somebody actually sent me their um, chart, and they were asking about this trade here. They missed this. I think they actually went long in here, and it failed on them. I can't remember if they just asked me about missing this short, and they asked me what they missed there, but they didn't have this bigger trend line. There's maybe a shorter term trend line right here as well. And notice the break, a new low, and then it tried to go higher. Um, I think he had that one on there, but he did not have this trend line, so he misses this right here and either tried to get long or just missed the short, I think is all it was. I don't think he actually went long there. I think he just missed the short. But and actually, he wrote me back and said he saw it right before he got my email. So that's great if you did see that. Um, but if if you see uh, well, I won't say that because that doesn't really apply to this situation. If I was going to say that, good trades don't fail. So there's a reason why it didn't go much higher here, but I don't think he went long there. I think he just didn't see the short and he couldn't figure out what he missed there. But there's a nice second entry short right off the trend line, and that really confirms the trend line. You do get your break there at the same time, but that happens sometimes, especially in a tight range. And so you just have to be aware of that. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Not much else to say about today. I hope you had a great trading day. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.